Aaron is coming in live from space. That's his space shuttle. Looks like just like his room.
Yeah, they fill a space shuttle full of trash and. Welcome to Game Rushmore. My name is Josh, and I am hosting today. And with me in the room, I have
Brandon.
And in space, we have
Aaron.
Oh, up there in space. How's space?
It's a lot like my room.
Oh, that's good.
It's for no man has gone before.
It's keeping company. They were like, we can simulate your room, and they're like, and then
it's populated with.
The accountant came up to NASA and was like, sir, we don't have enough money to fill his room with the same amount of stuff that he has currently.
I need my amiibos. Can my amiibos come?
All of them. And then you like lie about it. You're like, I also have these, which you don't have. There's like a list of 5 that you couldn't get. Yep.
He's got a Samus. That's his inspiration because he's, a real life Samus.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, bounty hunter. That's why they put him in space. Hunt bounties.
Find a Metroid.
But the paper towels he's looking for. We ran out of paper towels on Earth, and now he's hunting bounty in space.
The slowly picker-upper.
The slower picker-upper. Bounty. Video games. We can play video games.
Yeah.
Brandon, have you played any video games in space?
Oh, man. Not in space, but...
well, then I don't want to talk to you. No, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
What video games did you play?
I played The Mummy Demastered.
That looks really good.
It is. The music's good. It is, a Metroid, as they say, Metroidvania.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a cool mechanic. When you die, you come back as another soldier. I can't say that word. Soldier. And you have to, you have nothing, and you have to eliminate your zombified self in order to get your stuff back.
And for anybody that doesn't know, this is a licensed game
based on the movie,
based on the Tom Cruise Mummy movie.
Yeah, Universal Studios.
And I heard on another podcast that like Tom Cruise can't be in video games.
What?
Like they can't use his characters in video games. So that's why you don't play as Tom Cruise in this game. You play as some random soldier, right?
Yeah. Well, you die. It wouldn't make sense if you played as him because you die and then you're just another soldier and be like, the last communication we had from, A was from this location, and then you're a zombie because she raises you from the dead, the mummy. But anyway, I've been playing that. I'm enjoying it. I'm kind of at the end-ish. And also been playing Shadow of War.
Mm-hmm.
And so the last podcast I mentioned a guy named Garl. He was a grunt who killed me.
Uh-huh.
And then he became a captain. Yeah. Well, I had killed him. I had since gotten my revenge, and I killed him. Well, he came back, and now he's not, as he says, not the flame of war. Or I already messed it up. He said, I'm not the flame of knowledge, not the flame of truth, but the flame of war. But it's Garl, the flame of war, and he's a legendary. And I killed him again. and I made a video of it because it captures your video.
Yeah.
PS4.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they have this program called Share Factory on the PS4 where you can actually edit and upload videos onto YouTube or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So I did it. I uploaded it onto YouTube so you can watch him and I face off. And
what's the title so it can be searched?
Garl, bonded for life.
All right.
I was originally, because I wanted to put it all. I didn't know that I could create a body text and the YouTube thing.
Yeah. And
I didn't have a keyboard on my PlayStation. I'm like,
What channel did you put this on? Did you just set
just
up
my
your
YouTube
own?
channel. I don't I had 2 things originally a long time ago, which I deleted anyway, and so now I have that.
They were both Garl. They were both Garl videos.
It was just travel videos that were like a couple seconds long.
But so how does he come back to life? Does this happen a lot in that game?
It does.
Did it happen in the first game?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they would come back to life occasionally, and they would comment on how, you didn't kill him. Or you did. Oh, I turned up my volume on accident. I always do that with these headphones. I'm always playing, and I rub against the volume, and it turns it up. Freaks me out. But yeah. So they've expanded the Nemesis system, and he came back, and it even keeps track of how they die. Yeah. So I think I must have set him on fire because he was obsessed with fire when he came back. Yeah. But it was just interesting. He was legendary. I'm like, God, this guy went from grunt to straight up legendary.
Was he difficult?
I mean, no, because it was a one-on-one fight. And no one else could kind of find me. I was in a corner, and what makes it hard usually is fighting them and then other guys, and then it just keeps getting crowded and crowded. But this was just a solo fight between me and him, so I warmed down eventually, and I wouldn't have done it if it was other people around.
And in that game, is it? I don't know. That's one thing that I've seen is I've never seen any single one-on-one fight be difficult. Does it increase in difficulty at all? Like, are there some guys that are harder to beat one-on-one?
Well, I would say so because they've added. I haven't gotten that further into the game, but I've played. For example, I did a revenge online vendetta quest, and this happened, and this was in the first one too, Shadow of Mordor, where another player gets killed, and then you could avenge them and kill their guy. It's like an online challenge. So they've kind of elaborated a little more, and you actually get a war chest, a gold war chest, if you complete it. Well, I did this against a character who was a lot higher level than me, a chief, and there's a bunch of other chiefs, and there's things he was immune to a lot of what I use in my repertoire. Yeah. And there's one where every time I would try to kind of dodge him, he would just grab me and then throw me on the ground and then just punch me in the face. And it killed me in 2 hits, but it knocked me down, but then I was able to survive. Yeah. Through like, you have kind of like 2 main chances. If they knock down your life, then they're going to finish you off, but then it's like a mini game. If you succeed, you kind of like a second wind. So yes, the answer is yes and no. So, I mean, it feels like you can kind of kill anybody one-on-one if you played the game as much as I have. I played the first one on the PC all the way through, and then I bought the PS4, and then I bought the special version for the PS4, the Game of the Year edition, and I played through almost the entire thing again on the PS4. So by the time that I'm playing this, I'm well familiar with the controls and the combat and all that stuff.
So if you started from scratch, then maybe it's more difficult, but you feel like you have all the moves down.
I feel like I'm a veteran player, and but there's definitely also more gameplay tweaks. But what they've also added here are challenges attached to the armor and the weapons. So to unlock the buffs on legendary, epic, rare stuff, you actually have to complete. It'll say, do this to a captain while he's poisoned to unlock this thing or something. So it definitely peppers the combat. But yeah, they've made it more challenging, and I've actually died. So I would say yes. And I'm not playing on the Nemesis difficulty.
You should have.
I'm not a glutton for punishment.
You'd have more Garls and things coming after you. More legendaries. Was there anything else that you had played?
I don't think so. I've beat. I don't know if I said I beat Shovel Knight, and I played one of the expansions. So there's 2 different bonus DLCs for this game, Shovel Knight, that I believe are free if you own a Shovel Knight.
Yeah, every expansion has been included with the purchase.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So I'm playing as Spectre Knight, and it switches up the gameplay and the challenge, and I like it.
Nice.
And yes, that's what I've been playing.
Aaron, did you play The Mummy?
No, I didn't. I wanted to try it out because it looked cool.
Yeah, it looks. The art style is old school, pixel graphics, 2D.
It's developed by Way Forward, so they've had a. This is kind of like their thing, their type of game that they make. They did Shantae and games like that.
It's a solid game. I don't have any complaints. I actually have more complaints with Shadow of War. Which, one complaint, my biggest complaint, and they didn't fix it. I mean, it's just part of the gameplay. I'm sure people don't have a problem with it, but I don't like it, is how you pick up things in the game. In order to pick up something, you actually have to stand near it or over it and then press the R1 button, and your hand goes out and you absorb it into your weapon. And it's really annoying.
I can tell you that is a very common complaint about Shadow of War.
Is it?
To the point where, I don't know who I was watching, but somebody said that the first perk that you should ever unlock is the one that just draws things to you automatically.
Yeah.
Because going over and pushing the button is the worst thing. Or sometimes you lose legendaries because of it and things like that.
Yeah, it's just annoying. It breaks the momentum too. You kind of just want to run over stuff and just keep going.
Yeah.
There's not enough in that game to really.
Plus, it's not the kind of game where you're going to pick and choose, right? You're going to pick up everything.
Might as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand if you don't want to pick up the stuff, but then just don't go over it. There's probably easy ways to avoid it.
Yeah, but you don't lose space and you don't lose.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
And you convert stuff into money. So
yeah, there's no point in not picking up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it's common complaint. For myself, I've only played one game really. Did you play anything else?
Nope.
No. And that was with Aaron. We played Human Fall Flat on the PC over the internet. They added a multiplayer mode to Human Fall Flat. And it is a physics-based puzzle game, I guess you would say, where you control these little characters that look like, if you ever seen the game Gang Beasts, it's the same kind of models where it's got the long arms and the short legs and the big head. And they look like little stuffed people without facial features on them or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. They're just like, they look like just blobs that are shaped in the form, the close enough to a form of a human being.
Yeah. Like they have arms and legs, and they got a front and a back. And you can actually, in customer characterization, that's not right, character customization, one of those, you can actually put on different costumes or change the color. You can just straight up draw. I saw an option on there that I did not use, which was you could take you can use your webcam to take a photo of your face and put it on there somewhere.
And it just like stretches the picture and puts it on.
Yeah. It's just meant to look stupid is what it comes down to. But in this game, you get dropped in and you're the character, and you can you have a jump action, and then you have the ability to grab things with your hands, and then you can move the controls up or down to like lift things or drop things. So you can jump onto a wall and like pull yourself up on top of the wall and things like that.
I think I've seen this. Yeah.
Yeah, or you can push and pull things, and it does a pretty good job as a physics puzzler, I think.
Yeah, it's just basically interacting with actual objects in the play area and using them to get past the obstacles and things like that. And sometimes if there's a place where you might fall, instead of like having to restart after falling, you'll just keep falling until you land on the area that you just fell from.
Yeah.
That's how you restart.
So there's no death penalty. If you fall off the stage, you keep falling until you land back on the stage. sometimes a little bit further back or sometimes a little bit further forward. And we played it in multiplayer, which is relatively new. And if your partner hits a checkpoint, then you fall next to them. So if they pass the puzzle while you fell off the world, then you can respawn past the puzzle. So sometimes if somebody passed the puzzle and you still haven't, you can just jump off the world and go stand next to them at that point. But yeah, it's nice. It's got nice feel to it. It's got kind of the Minecraft music feel to it, where it's just background ambiance music. But it's a very empty world where things are left there purposely. So that always feels like a little bit creepy because you're like, who put this here and why? But it doesn't have any mystery or anything to it, really. You're just going through.
I never felt that once.
You never felt that?
No.
You start and there's a train that busts through the top ramp and it's just crashed there from the top. And you didn't think, I wonder what happened here?
Nothing in this game made me feel like it was anything other than just a series of placed objects for a player to traverse.
There's a story in that train.
No.
I mean, I'm not saying it's like The Witness, but you can feel like things are placed for a purpose. That's what I meant. Placed with purpose. Why is that train crashed through there?
The difference is you're a man of faith, Josh, and Aaron is subject moralist or whatever, or subject moral reasonist or whatever they're called.
Moral relativistic.
Yeah, maybe.
In any case, it's fun. And the controls aren't too jank, really, considering it's a physics puzzler. It's all right.
You just have to get used to what does what and how to do what you want to do.
You can move your arms independently. So, like, you hold down the button and then you move. The way you move your arms is kind of weird. Because, like, you can just move one or both at the same time. But you move your arms up or down by changing the way the camera looks. So your arms are attached to the camera in a way. So if you look up, then your arms go up. And then if you look down, your arms go down. So that's a little bit weird. I think it'd be a little bit more twin stick, but it's not. It's camera based. Anyway, it's fun. I was a policeman. Aaron was some kid.
I had headphones and like a hoodie or something. I forget.
You had headphones and a hat, I think. I don't know. You had something on. Whereas I had police gear. So I was laying down the law. Yeah, I want to play more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron, what have you played?
I've been playing a new game that's actually an old game from last year that has been given new life on a new platform.
Doom
on Nintendo Switch.
Right. Oh, psychic.
Yeah, that's it.
Just came out on Friday. So I picked it up because Doom was one of my favorite games last year.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was really curious to see how this version was. And the idea of having Doom on a portable was appealing. So I just wanted to see, how they pulled it off. And it is easily the best looking Nintendo Switch game I've ever seen.
Oh.
Like they didn't scale down the graphics that much, or they did?
No, they did not.
Oh.
The visuals hold up. It's definitely not as good looking as PS4, Xbox versions.
Yeah.
And it runs at 30 frames per second as opposed to 60.
Yeah.
So those are obvious, things that they did to, get this on the console.
Probably necessary things at that point.
Yeah. There's pretty much no way they could have done it other way. But they still managed to, make it feel good and look good to play. For, it for what it is, the Nintendo Switch, certain sacrifices would have to be made, but as long as they, still retain the feel of the game, then, that's not a problem. And I think that's the case with this game here, because it feels just as fun as playing it on the other versions. And if you really care about, visuals and stuff like that, and you have an Xbox or a PS4, there's really no reason for you to get it on the Switch unless you wanted that form factor. Like Nintendo Switch games, there's certain games that everyone goes, oh, this game is great on Nintendo Switch because of certain play styles that you do with it. Like Stardew Valley, it's great on the Switch because you're playing it on the go. It's easy to start and stop. And, it's a game that you'd want to take with you. So if you're the kind of person that wants that kind of experience and values their Switch in that way, and is looking for something that's more of a, hardcore first-person shooter, which don't really exist on the Switch right now, this totally delivers for you.
And they didn't add anything to it or anything like that, right?
No, they actually, it's identical to the other releases, except for the fact that it does not have the snap map creation mode, but it does have the multiplayer modes.
Oh, so like you can go to it, and those are not crossplay. It's Switch specific people.
Right.
I mean, that's good. I mean, the more things that are on the Switch, the better. You don't want.
Yeah.
Well, what it made me feel like is that, this is dependent on the technology the companies have available to them, but a lot of games that we see on PS4 or Xbox that we might not necessarily think would be possible to bring to Switch might actually be possible.
So, like, they can play current generation games, because Doom is a pretty hefty game, right? Even though it came out last year.
It's definitely. It definitely is running on a versatile engine.
Yeah.
So it's, I think Doom isn't necessarily like really pushing the graphics. It's not one of those games, but it's, on par with the rest of stuff you see on current gen consoles.
I mean, that's cool. That is, it's nice to hear, because, yeah, that's one of the things. Everybody's always asking about third-party support. And if Switch being as high a system seller as it is, it'll probably entice more third-party people to produce on there if Doom can look good and be successful on the platform.
I think it definitely is a matter of the amount of work that gets put into it, though.
Yeah.
Because I can see this port could have gone poorly if it weren't for certain, things that they did to make sure it's running the best that it can.
Do you think this is just because of the developer then? You think specifically it was successful because they are good at doing that?
Well, I mean, they took the time, and it seems like that it was something that they were conscious of, making it sure that it was the best that it could be. Because I don't think it turns out the way that it did if, they just took their graphic settings and turned them way down and just put it on the Switch and said, go for it.
Does this give you higher hopes for Skyrim?
Yeah, I think Skyrim's probably going to be pretty decent. It was on PS3 and 360, so
Yeah.
I'm it wouldn't be. It doesn't surprise me that it's going to be on Switch. It just won't. It's not going to look like the current generation. I'm assuming.
Will it look better than the PS3?
Oh, maybe.
Oh. Tentative.
What I am curious about is how Wolfenstein 2 for the Switch turns out.
Oh, that's a good point. That is also coming out to the Switch. What's the release date on that? Is that anytime soon?
2018 is all I said.
Oh.
So
it makes sense because they probably have to do that, not from the ground up, but they probably have to retool an engine. At the very
I think it's the same engine as Doom, so that's probably why they're doing it.
Oh.
It's very superficial of me, but it always kind of seems weird to me. Still don't have trophy support.
That is superficial of you. I can confirm. Superficial.
Just want some acknowledgement that I beat a game. I
You want to show
rewarded.
people. You want to say, "Here's my platinums."
I want it on my profile.
We'll put it on your profile. Pervert. That's what we'll put. Bold letters. It's right across the front. Aaron, what else have you been playing?
I mean, outside of Stardew Valley, still here and there. It's pretty much it.
What do you think of Xenoblade?
I am more interested in it than I thought I would be, because I watched the new Nintendo Direct that they put out for it, and I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, I had the same impression. Really, I saw the Nintendo Direct, and I was surprised by how interested I was in the game. Because I am not. I haven't played any of the other ones, of which there are 2. Is that right?
2. Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles and then Xenoblade Chronicles X.
And it's not really related to Xenogears, right?
No.
It's the same.
It's
one of the lead people developing it.
Yeah.
Or
the guy.
developed. Yeah.
The guy likes using the prefix Xeno. And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
It's just a very big open world fun RPG with lots of systems. Not lots of systems. There's just a system that Xenoblade Chronicles, when it introduced it, was kind of like this. Every NPC was a character with a name, and you could have this flow chart that would develop in your menu where you could see who is friends with who and what the relationship is. And as you talk to them, that relationship would develop, and you could kind of not so much change, but kind of influence by your actions. Open up areas.
I've always wanted to play more of these games.
Yeah, I mean,
I played hardly any of Xenoblade 1, and a good amount, probably like 5 hours or so of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or X.
X is that game is just huge, but
yeah,
the Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, I mean, they re-released it for the 3DS, the new 3DS. So, I mean, I don't see why you couldn't just pick that up and play it.
You can download it on the Wii U eShop too. The Wii version.
I want a game.
That's cool.
Because I'm making up a game. It's a game where it has character relationships like you were describing, down to where you could talk to the old lady who sells flowers on the corner, and eventually, with enough time and enough motivation, she could join your party.
Well, there's games like that where everyone can join you.
Yeah, but they probably have like
so
20 people.
I'm trying to think.
There's Suikoden.
Oh, yeah, Suikoden.
That has 108 recruitable characters.
What I mean is, your game has thousands of people. And you can play all of them.
There's a lot in the Sword Art Online games, RPGs. In the last one, I think you could have every single NPC that you encounter join you, but you'd have to actually, develop a rapport with them enough to where they would join you.
AAA game companies. Give me the money that you give to a AAA game, and I will give you one with graphics on par with the Super Nintendo, but you can any character in that game can join your party.
To what end, Josh?
Because it's fun. Really what it is, and it's something that I like. I know Brandon pursues this in a separate manner than I do, but I also like the thought of unique game experiences, whereas you're the only one that has that sequence of events happen to you.
So it's individual experience.
Yeah, because it'd be great with individual experience. It's why I'm interested in Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor with the Nemesis system, because it gives you that opportunity to have an individual experience that nobody else has had. It's the allure of MMO that MMO can't succeed, it can't fulfill really, because there's only so much. You can't build unique things into it without some people feeling gypped by that experience.
Yeah. Everyone's doing the same fodder.
Yeah,
doing the same stuff. That's just over and over. But, man, I lost my train of thought. But, Citizens of Earth. Have you heard of that RPG?
No.
You play a councilman.
Yes.
It's cartoony looking. Every single character in that game can join your party.
There you go. We did it, guys. We built this game. Is it any good?
It doesn't look bad at all. It's on every system too.
Oh, you haven't played it?
No, I've come extremely close. Yeah.
Citizens of Earth?
Citizens of Earth. Yeah, check it out.
All right.
I mean, you have kind of like the bartender, the coffee barista, all these people can join your party.
I also want it where you can do those jobs and just like those are their own games. I want something that's impossible. Yeah.
Sounds like Fable 3.
It's called Fantasy Life. You can do everything in that game.
Kind of like, what's that pirate game?
Puzzle Pirates?
Yeah, Puzzle Pirates. I like Puzzle Pirates because you could dye clothes. Or you could like fix the ship.
That's a real weird reason to like a game.
Well, because you could dye clothes. It's its own game. You can enjoy doing it, and you're putting things into the economy. Like, why wouldn't you want that? Like, why wouldn't you want an MMO where somebody can join and say, you know what? I'm going to start a bar. And you're like, oh, okay. So you get to the point where you can buy land, and then you put a bar up on it, and then you sell things. And people come and enjoy your bar. And you're like, yeah. So you log in every day, and maybe there's its own mini game that's attached to that sort of an action. And you get to play your mini game, and everybody gets to partake of your wares.
One of the, I think, tipping points for me when I was playing Final Fantasy 14 on the PS4, this last bout of me playing it, The Realm Reborn, I was doing some questing. And, so the quests can get really redundant in that game. Yeah. But there's just so much stuff to do in that game, it's hard to get bored. And I was looking at people's mounts. All these people had cool mounts. And people in my guild came to me and they started giving me a parade of all the different mounts you can do. So I just sat there and they both went through a battery of mounts that each of them earned. Yeah. And I'm like, well, the thing is like everyone can do everything. And so many people have done it. I could never be anybody that be like, oh, there's Brandon. He's the person that dyes shirts. Let's ask him for it. Yeah. It's like I'll never amount to anything. My only hope is to just be one of these people that has unlocked everything. There's 100 mounts, but everyone has those mounts. Yeah. Like I want that one mount that no one else has.
I want to be the one that tamed this thing.
Yeah. Like there's no unique experiences on my level of entry.
I was thinking about that. I was like, how do you change that? And it's like unique drops. And it's like, but if you have a unique drop, then people get like, oh, look at this guy. He's got this. I wish I could get this, but nobody else can get it. And it's like, okay, well, unique drops, but maybe respawnable bosses. Like if you go to a boss, you fight him and you get a unique drop. I don't know. There's no.
It could be done. It's just the developers and it's. I mean, it physically is possible, but it's just unrealistic. But you would need the developers to create items that are unique and don't tell anybody. So if you get this item, you can look it up on the web and everyone will know how to get it. It's
Yeah.
just, but when you're developing the game, you just create one of each thing. Everything is unique. I remember when I was a kid, they had these Looney Tunes shirts that came out, and every single Looney Tunes shirt was different. Do you remember this?
No.
Oh, there was a subtle difference between every single shirt ever produced, and they became such a hot thing. At least when I was in the East Coast at the time, Maryland, that if you had one of these Looney Tunes shirts, you're like, "Whoa, what'd you get?" And like mine has, Bugs Bunny, but he's facing this way, and he's, everyone was literally different.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah,
My Daffy Duck has a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, there were subtle differences, but everyone
it's
was
something.
different. Yeah.
You know what we need to do is we need to spend a couple $1 million and hire somebody to make a game for just like us. And then we'll go in and everything will be unique in it. Unique bosses, unique monsters. And then we'll go through and we'll trash that game.
You don't need to make everything unique, just 10%. Just
That's true.
The end game stuff. I want, the people that have made it and be like, all right, you do this quest that no one else has done, and then you'll get an item that no one else has gotten. And just leave it at that. And then you'd have a story to tell instead of just, I'm doing it for this one drop, 5 other people have it. This is how, people have already made guides.
We all know how to do it.
Yeah.
You know what? Instead of like having in-game items or titles that are unique, I think it's more interesting to me when there's games that facilitate unique player experiences. And I feel like games like Skyrim and Breath of the Wild more recently kind of, went in that direction a little bit. But
Yes.
no game, I feel like, ever really focused on that being the user's experience. Like crafting that. I think probably Zelda's the closest.
I
But
agree. I don't
having-
think Skyrim is really much of it's just a big place with a big set of items. But
It's just the fact that it's a whole world and people sometimes do unexpected things, or you mess with the systems in certain ways to cause weird stuff to happen.
I guess that's true. Unique experience is part of it because I'll never forget how I played Zelda, which is never prepare weapons before going into anything important. And so I was always like, I think I fought somebody with a torch once, like because I was out of stuff.
yeah,
It didn't last long. I think I died on that go around, but it was fun.
it's a real adventure.
Yeah,
You don't plan adventures.
that's
Just
right.
take them.
You stumble into them.
That's what I would be interested in from a game.
I would be, but that to me, that's so much harder. I mean, I don't even know how you would. I mean, how do you craft something without deliberately crafting it?
Well, you set things with rules, and then you set them in motion, and when then two rules overlap, they join together to form a new experience. It's possible. It's more possible than unique experiences for everybody, but it's not easy because it's easy for that to go terribly wrong. It is easy for you to screw that up and everything just not work correctly.
Yeah.
I think that's everything. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about?
I'm right on the cusp of buying a Switch. I'm there. I almost bought it just to play Mummy on it,
Yeah.
but I decided I can probably hold off and just buy the Mummy on the PS4, and then. So I'm technically waiting for Xenoblade. When Xenoblade comes out and I'm still wanting it, I'll buy it. And yeah,
There it goes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Aaron, what are you waiting to buy?
Waiting to buy?
Aaron doesn't wait to buy anything. Those are the wrong turn of phrase. What are you looking forward to?
There's kind of nothing really on the horizon except for Dragon Ball Fighters is coming up. That looks good.
Yeah.
Um,
It's pretty much
Dragon-
yeah, because
Dragon Quest 11. That is probably the biggest title that I'm excited about.
yeah,
Yeah, I want that game so bad. I mean, I so much so I replayed 9 while I watched Japanese players play 11 on PlayStation Live. Be like, oh man, they're looking like they're having so much fun.
Look at those people.
Yeah, I mean, I like Xenoblade, and I still have Xenoblade X. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm Dragon Quest is, I'm. The last time I played a Dragon Quest that came out, I think, was the 9th one.
That's what it's called now. The 9.
So I've been waiting so long for a new one.
Well, 2017 coming to a close, and there's a lot of games that came out this year. A lot of good games that came out this year.
Yeah.
So it's all right if in the next month or so another good game doesn't come out. That's fine. That's fine. No last
That's
minute
not
entries.
fine. I want good games out all the time.
How about this? Starting January, which doesn't usually happen, but February, March. We'll give them spring. Spring of 2018, you'll get some new stuff.
I tried for the 5th time to get into Hero Horizons Zero Dawn, but I just can't get into that game.
I was gonna try again today. We'll see. Because I know Mike's gonna talk about it.
I'm like, it looks good, it plays good. I just don't care.
Yeah, when it comes to our Game of the Year discussions, I know that's gonna be a talking point, and I need to play more of it.
It just makes me want to play Monster Hunter. I'm like, I don't want to play Monster Hunter. I don't know.
that's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
That's in January.
Is it?
There you go.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound so far. Well, I mean, Xenoblade, that'll keep me busy for a bit.
That's true. Well, GameRushmore.OnSouthernRoad.com for our podcast. At Game Rushmore on Twitter. On Southern Road on Facebook. GameRushmore@gmail.com for questions and comments. Aaron has reviews and things on his Laser Ramon channel on YouTube. If you go to On Southern Road on YouTube, you can see a link there to his name.
At Laser Ramon on Twitter, and there's a link to the YouTube channel. I put up a video about the new free quest that downloaded on everyone's copy of Breath of the Wild. If you haven't noticed,
Not my copy.
there's a new copy. There's a new mission, and it's about Xenoblade Chronicles X or Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah.
You get the new armor from the main character, and I show you how to get it.
It's weird looking.
Looks
Yeah,
like the
it
main
is.
character. Get used to that look, Brandon, because that is what your character is going to
It's
look
like
like.
they're trying to. It's kind of the opposite route that Level 5 went. Level 5 went kind of weird shaped, cartoony with those games. What are those games called?
Professor Layton?
No, before that. It's for the PS2. You build things, and it was RPG.
Rogue Galaxy,
No, before that. Rogue Galaxy.
Minecraft.
Dark Cloud.
Right. Dark Cloud. There you go. So Dark Cloud, and then they started to look better. It went better from now on. Now, Xenoblade's like, yeah, let's go realistic looking now. Okay, let's go cartoony, dark cloudy looking. It's kind of weird proportions.
His clothes shouldn't actually touch his skin. They should kind of float around him.
Is that what they do? Is that what it does?
That's what his pants are like, right? Am I wrong? Do his legs go into like some holes?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's going to be a great game.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.